Hello students. Today we are going to discuss about the process of homeostasis. First of all, we should know about what is homeostasis. Homeostasis is actually maintaining a constant internal environment in the body. Like, for example, homeostasis actually makes sure our body has the correct level of water, temperature, oxygen, blood sugar, and carbon dioxide. So these factors should be maintained in our body. For example, if we take temperature, so there should be a specific range of temperature. Above that and below that, our body enzyme will not work efficiently. Or water level should be also maintained in our body. Above that and below that, our body cell will not work efficiently. Oxygen level should be also maintained in our body. There should be a specific level of oxygen in our body so that our body cell work efficiently. Is oxygen needed for the process of respiration? While carbon dioxide also produce is a result of carbon dioxide, so the carbon dioxide should be eliminated from the body. While oxygen will utilize for the process of respiration, while carbon dioxide should be eliminated from the body, it produced is a result of respiration. And blood sugar level should also be maintained so that our body cells work efficiently. So all these factors should be maintained. So the maintaining of all these factors in our body is called homeostasis. Even the pH of the blood should be also maintained. If it is increasing or decreasing, it can affect our enzymes. Now, why homeostasis is very important? As I discussed to you, for the pH, for the enzyme to work efficiently, so for that, pH and temperature is very important. For the enzyme, like for every enzyme, the optimum pH is required. For every enzyme, it needs a specific optimum temperature. Above that and below that, enzyme will not work efficiently. So for that reason, we need the process of homeostasis. Now, the cell size, the water potential of the blood will affect the amount of water in the tissue fluid and cell. Now, if any change came in water potential, so that can affect our body cells. For example, if I tell you one example here, let's suppose I have this cell and outside the water potential increase. I means outside the water level increase. Then the cell, so what will happen? This water will move from out to in and the cell may burst. You got my point? So the cell may burst. Or if I tell you another example, let's suppose the water potential inside the cell is high. Water potential means the amount of water, and outside the water potential is less. So what will happen? The water will move from in to out. Water will move from inside the cell to outside, and the cell will become flaccid, right? So For this reason, in order to maintain the size of your body cells, the size of your blood cells, a specific amount of water need in your body, that should not be increased and that should not be decreased. So to maintain this water level at a specific range, this is actually homeostasis. So we call that the homeostasis of water is called osmoregulation. Okay, now let's move to another. These are homeostasis organs, different organs of our body as responsible to maintain specific range of different factors. Like for example, I tell you about the brain. So brain is the part of human body that control temperature, that control water, and it control carbon dioxide level in your body. You know, like in the brain, that there is a part called hypothalamus. Hypothalamus contain receptors for temperature and water. Like hypothalamus contain thermoreceptor and osmoreceptor. That thermo that hypothalamus detect if some changes come in the temperature, or if changes come in the water level in the body. So that hypothalamus will send the impulse to different part of our body, and it will bring that temperature and water level to the normal by certain changes it will bring in our body. We will discuss it later. And carbon dioxide level will also maintained by brain. Like you know, when the carbon dioxide level increase in our body, so the carbon dioxide will react with water, and that will make carbonic acid, and that carbonic acid will detect by brain, and the brain will send a message to breathing system, and your breathing rate will increase. So as a result of that, you will as a result of that, carbon dioxide will come out from your body. Okay, now another, we have muscles. Muscle also play important role in thermoregulation. Like you know, if muscle is contracting and relaxing, as a result of that, heat will produce. Skin also play a very important role in thermoregulation, means regulation of body temperature. For example, if the body temperature is far down from the normal, the blood flow to the skin will decrease and heat loss from the skin will be less. But if the temperature of the body increase than normal, blood flow to the skin will be high and heat will loss from your skin in the form of like sweating, in the form of radiation, convection. So in these form, the heat will loss from your body. Convection, conduction, radiation in the form of sweating. So thus your body temperature will come normal to the normal. Okay. Another, we have lungs. Lungs remove carbon dioxide from our body. As I told you already, that the brain will detect that acidic condition, and then a message will come to the your breathing system, and your lung will start to eliminate carbon dioxide from your body. Okay. Another, we have pancreas. Pancreas play an important role in control of blood sugar. Like for example, if the glucose level increase in our body, pancreas will produce a specific hormone called insulin, and insulin will increase the uptake of glucose by liver cell, and liver cell will convert that glucose into glycogen. Or insulin will also increase the uptake of glucose by muscle cell, and muscle cell will convert that glucose into energy, and thus blood glucose level will come back to the normal. Okay, another one we have kidney. Okay, so kidney also play important role in osmoregulation. It control water and minerals ions level in our body. Let's suppose water level increase in our body, so kidney will start, like it will form more urine, and in the form of dilute urine, water will eliminate from your body. But if the water level is less in your body, so urine will become concentrated. Most of the water will reabsorb back by the kidney to your body, and thus the water level will regulate in your body. Okay, now these are the organs of homeostasis. Now let us study about negative feedback. What is negative feedback actually? Negative feedback is the man, like it's a man mechanism that maintain internal environment. Organism need a self-regulatory mechanism, right? So like negative feedback is the mechanism that maintain this internal environment. It's a corrective mechanism. By this mechanism, mostly we achieve homeostasis. Negative feedback is actually the mechanism, like for example, the changes that come against the original stimuli. Like for example, we can see, for example, glucose level increase in our body. So against that, pancreas will produce insulin. So the actual stimuli here is the increased glucose level. And when it detect by our body, so what happen? Pancreas starts secretion insulin, and insulin increase the breakdown of glucose, and also insulin convert that glucose into glycogen. So thus the glucose level come back to the normal. So if you see here, this glucose level controlled by negative feedback mechanism. Why? Because changes come in our body against the actual stimuli. Actual stimuli will increase glucose level, but through negative feedback it decrease back. Means like when it's increasing, so negative feedback bring it to the normal by opposing that. So this corrective mechanism is called what? Negative feedback. Now, here we will study how does negative feedback control body temperature. So let's suppose a body temperature falls, okay? So if now the body temperature fall down from the normal, right? It's cold. So what will happen? Sensory nerve ending will be stimulated, and that sensory neuron will send message to hypothalamus. And I told you already that hypothalamus have actually thermoreceptor. So that hypothalamus will detect that, and hypothalamus will send impulse to muscle and skin. And what will happen? Muscle will start shivering to produce heat, while vasoconstriction will happen. Vasoconstriction of blood vessel that is near to the skin. So it is, like when vasoconstriction happen, it means less blood flow will happen to your skin. And when less blood is going to the skin, so it means the heat will not loss from your skin in the form of radiation. The heat will not loss from your skin in the form of sweating. The heat will not loss in the form of conduction. So thus, the heat will remain inside in your body internal organ. Okay, and thus your body temperature will come back to normal. But another condition we have, let's suppose temperature rises than normal. So what will happen? At that time, nerve cell will be stimulated and the impulse will reach to hypothalamus. Hypothalamus will send the impulse to muscle, okay, with the nerves ending stimulated. So that will stimulate what? Actually, it is hypothalamus. So hypothalamus will send impulse to muscle and skin. Okay. Now, after stimulation of neuron ending of hypothalamus and the impulse go to the muscle, so what will happen? Sweating and vasodilation will happen. It means sweat gland will start secretion of sweat, and the evaporation of sweat, like the sweat will absorb the heat from your body, and when it evaporates it will cause cooling effect. And vasodilation will happen. Vasodilations, more blood will flow toward your skin, and is if blood is flowing more to the skin, so from that heat will loss in the form of convection, conduction, and radiation once again, and thus your body temperature will fall down and it will come back to the normal. Is it clear? Now, how does the skin respond to temperature change? Let's suppose, first of all, I will discuss with you if, for example, like if the temperature decrease or if temperature increase, what are the changes that will come in our body? So first I will discuss about if the temperature decrease then normal. So let us study about that. For example, this is with us, this is fat gland. Remember, it's the structure of skin. So this is fat gland, okay. This is hair hair, okay, hair cell, and this is hair follicle, the cell that cover this hair, okay. And these are, this is neuron ending. It may be like it may be for temperature detection, or it may be certain for pressure like baroreceptor, it may be thermoreceptor, or it may be nociceptor for the detection of pain. Okay, so let us start. When the temperature is falling down, okay, so what are the changes will come in our body? Let's suppose the temperature is going, it's far, like it's going below 37 degrees Celsius. So what's the changes supposed to come in our body? The first thing is the hair will become erect. And when the hair become erect, so in this gap it trap a layer of air, and that layer of air is an insulator, and this air prevent the loss of heat from your body. Okay. Now another thing, if you look at here very carefully, you can see here, just look toward this blood vessel. So when I'm going below, like when I'm going to lower temperature, the blood vessel become narrow. Okay, why it become narrow? So that no more blood go to the skin, and it prevent the heat loss from our body. Now if now come toward, let's suppose that the body temperature is increasing. So what are the changes supposed to come in our body? So like when I'm going, you can observe here, from this sweat gland it is starting producing sweat, right? And you can also check it here very carefully about the blood vessel. The blood vessel start to dilate. When it dilate, it means more blood is going toward your skin. So when more blood is going toward your skin, it means more heat loss is happening. And now it's a sweat come, right? So when this sweat evaporate, it cause cooling effect, because this sweat is absorbing the heat from your body. Okay. All right. Now, okay. Oh, one thing more you should be clear about, that this is actually you know like here this is adipose tissue, or also called fat cell. This also acts as an insulator to prevent the heat loss from the skin. Okay. Now let's move to our osmoregulation. the regulation of water level in our body, right? Okay, I told you already, hypothalamus is the part of brain that will detect the water level in our body, that will detect that the water level is now at that specific range or no. So let's suppose if the water potential of the blood decrease, water potential of the blood means the water level or the amount of water that's supposed to be in our blood, it decreased than normal. So what will happen? That change is well detected by us both, by osmoreceptor and the hypothalamus. And hypothalamus, well, send message to pituitary gland. It means hypothalamus will send impulse to pituitary gland, and pituitary gland will start production of ADH hormone. ADH is actually antidiuretic hormone. This hormone actually increase the permeability of collecting duct of nephron. You know, kidney, basic unit kidney consists of several nephron, right? Now, nephron function is to filter the blood and form urine, right? It filters the blood and remove the waste material from the blood, but along with the waste material also water enter to that nephron, and from that nephron it go out like from your body in the form of urine. Now if there is less water in your body, so this ADH will increase the permeability of this nephron, and the part of nephron on which this antidiuretic hormone act, that is called collecting duct. So from the collecting duct, blood from the collecting duct, water will absorb back toward your body, and this urine will become concentrated. Why? Because water absorb back toward your body and less urine will produce, and this water level will come back toward your normal, to the normal. Now let's suppose if water potential increase in our body, so who will detect it? Again, osmoreceptor up hypothalamus will detect it, and it will send impulse to pituitary gland. Okay, right? Now here I am discussing actually when the water potential increase in your body, so that will detect by osmo receptor of the hypothalamus, and this hypothalamus will stimulate pituitary gland, and pituitary gland will start to produce less ADH because the water level is enough, like there is more water in our body. So if ADH is less, it means the collecting duct permeability will be less, so less water will go back from your nephron to your body. When water will not absorb back from your nephron to body, so that water will secrete in the form of urine. It means the quantity of urine will be more. It means like the amount, or the urine will be more dilute. Okay, thus like more water will release from your body in the form of urine, so thus the water level will come back to the normal. Is it clear? Now, how does the body control the blood glucose level? As I told you already that, let's suppose, I told you before that pancreas is the organ that controls the blood glucose level, because pancreas produce two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Okay, and liver play important role in that also, and means like the storage of glucose. So let us start. For example, I eat something. When I eat some carbohydrate, so my blood glucose level increase. When my blood glucose level increase, so definitely pancreas will start production of insulin. So the pancreas detect that and start production of insulin. Now the insulin You can see it here, like these are glucose and this is insulin. So now the insulin's function is to decrease the glucose level in our body. So how it will decrease the glucose level in our body, you can see it here. Insulin causes the liver to store excess glucose, as like you can see it here. This glucose will now start to be stored in and liver. It is converting it into glycogen, and this add your blood. You can see it here in this blood vessel. The blood glucose level is coming to the normal back, means it is decreasing now. Is it clear why? Because insulin causing the liver cell to store excess glucose and in the form of glycogen. So it's now storing in the form of glycogen. I think it's clear. Now another condition we have, let's suppose we are doing exercise. So during exercise, the level of during exercise, the level of blood glucose are decreased. So when it decrease, so the pancreas release glucagon into blood. Now you can see it here, and this blood vessel, the glucose is less. So for that reason, it's supposed to be increase in the blood now. So for that reason, the pancreas release glucagon into blood, and glucagon have to convert this glycogen into glucose again. Why? Glycogen is actually the store form of glucose. It's a polysaccharide. Glucose stored in the form of this huge molecule, and that is called what? Glycogen. Now you can see it here now. This is glycogen, right? That is secreted by pancreas, and now, sorry, this is the glucagon hormone secreted by pancreas, and this glucagon will start to convert this glycogen into glucose. Now you will see it here. See, now livers become stimulated. Now this glucagon is air releasing this glucose. Now see, you can see this, like glucagon came, one glucose will release from that, again come one. So it means glycogen is converted into glucose. It is the function of glucagon. Glucagon causes the liver to release glucose into blood, and thus the glucose level come back to the normal. Okay, I think, hope you understand it well, right? Thank you so much.